criminal. Let's get some more with the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Michael McCaul of Texas. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. So as you know, the Secretary of State now joining the president, saying he believes Russia is committing war crimes and blaming Putin personally. Putin may never, though, face accountability, but how significant is it from your perspective to label the Russian leader a war criminal?
Well, first of all, it's correct. He has killed civilians. He bombed a maternity hospital, the theater with children on it. All the civilian casualties that we've seen, the mass graves. He's in violation of the Geneva Convention and should be designated as a war criminal. I think it's very significant in terms of Putin's psyche. He wants to be known as his legacy is everything to him. The only reason he's in Ukraine is to basically, reclaim the glory of the old empire. But if his, legacy is going to be a war criminal, that's going to be, from a psychological standpoint, a very damaging and I think a correct path forward.
Good point. I know you've been pushing, Congressman, for Ukraine to get these S-300 anti-aircraft missile systems. Slovakia, as you know, Slovakia, a member of NATO, says they're willing to provide them immediately as long as they have a proper replacement. So what's the latest? What can you tell us about this?
So the S-300 is it's a Russian anti-aircraft missile system. It's similar to our Patriot battery, but not on the same scale. We can't put our Patriot battery in there for security reasons. We don't want the Russians to get one of those. And the Ukrainians know how to operate all Russian military equipment. This is, when Zelensky asked for no-fly zone, and the argument that the Russian and NATO aircraft in the skies is going to be a direct head-on collision and potentially start a world war. But what we can do is give him the tools to provide his own, no-fly zone. And that is primarily the S-300, which is very effective. They know how to operate this. And also the lethal drones that have the Hellfire missiles that, quite frankly, the Russians are terrified about these drones that, again, are very effective. The combination of those two, I think, would give Zelensky what he needs, what he wants, and to establish the no-fly zone.
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point. President Biden, as you know, will speak with the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, tomorrow as China considers how much support to throw behind Putin's war. What message does President Biden need to send in that phone conversation?
Well, I think he needs to be very strong in that if he's assisting, Putin's war machine in any way with weapons or with economic assistance to get around the sanctions, that they have run the risk of getting sanctioned themselves with what we call secondary sanctions that would impact China itself. And I think that would be a strong deterrent. Now, we're worried about China, this unholy alliance between President Xi and Putin we saw at the Beijing Olympics, and also as it pertains to Taiwan. And we know President Xi is looking at Taiwan very carefully, and as he watches this conflict in Ukraine, to make his calculation whether to proceed with an invasion of Taiwan.
Congressman Michael McCaul is the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks always, Wolf. Appreciate it.
There's more breaking